I was ready to go under the knife, just to stop Dee's eternal bullying. Did I deserve this? After all, everything was fine last year. With trembling hands, I was surfing the websites of various clinics, looking at pictures of mutilated bodies. If only it would all be over soon. But then I clicked on the following link, and what turned out to be there made my heart sink. What the hell is that? None of my blouses wanted to be buttoned in anyway. Did my breast really grow so much over the summer? I needed to be at school in half an hour. We had a consultation before the new academic year about the future profession, and they wouldn't let me in there with a stretched t-shirt. I started rummaging through my mom's closet, but even her blouses were too small for me in the chest area. I was about to burst into tears, but then I caught sight of some kind of lame purple hoodie. I think my mom wore it when she was pregnant with me. It looked terrible. There was no time left. I quickly put it on and rushed to school. Evan, my boyfriend, was already waiting for me in the yard. We hadn't seen each other for a couple of months because of the holidays. He squinted at me blankly, but politely kept me silent. I was on the verge of hysteria. Yes, I looked such a mess. I yelled, but what can I do? My boobs grew over the summer. Now they are just huge. Wow, said Evan with an interested smile. Are you a fool or what? I wanted to answer him, but then we were called. I had to sit at the last desk and hide behind some books for the whole consultation. After that, Evan was waiting for me in the yard again. What else? But he only gently apologized and said that he would like to invite me to go to the coast with him this weekend. I clearly needed to chill out and spend the last days of the holidays with benefit. I agreed. After all, I have a great boyfriend. But the very next day, I regretted it. To go to the coast when my boobs don't fit into any swimsuit. I was still in the same mom's hoodie running around shopping malls. But in vain. I looked either like an inept porn star or like a sack of potatoes in all swimsuits the consultants offered me. Hey, who dreamed of huge boobs? I can share. Apparently I had enough for 3. In a terrible mood, I was trudging through the mall. But then they announced that it was closing in 20 minutes. Heck, what should I do? I ran into the last shop in the hope of at least finding something suitable there. But when I tried on the next swimsuit, looking more like a sausage costume, even the sellers couldn't hold back their giggles. That's it. I've had enough. I asked to pack me something that at least fit. To which the consultant gave me a surprised look. Have you ever been dissuaded from buying by the seller? There you go. I came home absolutely broken. I was so looking forward to the weekend to distract myself. I didn't know then that another disappointment was waiting for me. A couple of days later, Evan and I went to the coast. At first, everything was fine. A real paradise. But the calm did not last long. Or rather, exactly until the moment I took off my beach dress. As soon as Evan saw me in the swimsuit, he laughed so hard the whole beach hurt him. I didn't know where to look. That's it. I've had enough. Choking with resentment, I ran to the bus stop. Evan tried to catch up with me, but every now and then, he burst out laughing again. They're dangling so funny when you run. He persisted. Jerk. I returned home in a disgusting mood. Now I had to suffer with these boobs all my life. It couldn't go on like this. All night, I googled the places in our town where you can buy at least something cute for girls with big boobs, but found nothing. Damn. But how do others get out of a mess? I might as well sew everything myself. Stop. And this is an idea. I quickly googled sewing courses, but the search gave me something more interesting. It turned out that we had a real design college. I immediately got the idea to transfer there. In the morning, I already sent an application and I got accepted. I was already halfway to my dream. The first couple of weeks in college went just fine. But one of the teachers constantly annoyed me, and he taught us the basic discipline. He failed me on the first test. What the hell? I completed all the tasks. I went up to him to figure out what was wrong, but he just looked at me thoughtfully. Well, he continued, I see you have big problems. 2 very big problems. What do you think you're doing? This is a real shaming. I wanted to howl in frustration. Why did my life change so much because of these boobs? Now I was like a scarecrow with 2 balloons. In desperation, I returned home and started Googling breast reduction surgeries. I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't know where to get such a sum, but I firmly decided that I would do it. However, suddenly, I came across an article. A girl from a neighboring town died from complications after such a surgery. Wow, a chill ran down my spine. I got my head turned around. I couldn't believe that 5 minutes ago, I was ready to go under the knife. This was some kind of idiocy. An idea came to me. I immediately reached for a notebook with a pencil. By morning, I already had sketches ready for a new capsule. Let everyone see that we are beautiful and not boogie women with the wrong proportions. Soon there would be a competition of young designers at the college, and this was my chance. In the afternoon, I was already hanging ads in the hall to the laughter of my classmates that I was looking for models. The main requirement was boobs no less than E-cup size. Several hours passed but no one responded. After classes, I was heading to the bus stop, wondering where to find models. Suddenly, someone called out to me. I turned around hesitantly. There were several girls standing in front of me, and each of them had huge boobs. Well, one had boobs even bigger than mine. Wow, I've never seen anything like it. The girls came up to me and said they wanted to help me. I broke into a smile. It seems that we should succeed, but it wasn't that simple. The very next day, a rumor spread through the college that we had a milk team. That's what everyone called us now. During the break, the girls and I went to have lunch in the cafeteria. Everything was fine, but then a few boys approached us. A bad feeling stirred inside me. The tallest of them came up to our table and put several bags of milk on it. Here, they said, "This is yours." He blurted out calmly and started laughing like an idiot. I immediately blushed. Something had to be done. I looked at our tray. Oh right, I took a couple of eggs and just as calmly handed them to the perplexed guy. "Thank you, and they asked you to return this," I said. There was a moment of silence in the cafeteria. But then everyone started laughing and someone even applauded. Dude, it was a cringe. But the girl is good. I heard from behind. The boys blushed and quickly left. I was elated. After this incident, more attention was paid to us in college. Some asked what we were up to. You'll see soon. And now our capsule collection was ready. The girls and I gathered in the assembly hall to rehearse everything. But even here there was a catch waiting for us. It turned out that Mary absolutely did not know how to walk in heels. Who are these 2 balloons on stilts? A passing janitor only aggravated the situation. Wait, why torture yourself? After all, the essence of our collection was to show that we were already beautiful. Mary, you're going to be walking in sneakers. Everything will work out. And then came an X day. Overcoming my excitement, I went on stage and said that I dedicate my collection to the girl who died from complications after surgery, and to everyone whose curves differed from the generally accepted ones. My models performed just fine. And most of all, the audience liked Mary in sneakers. I knew. And now I was already standing among the winners and holding a diploma in my hands. We took second prize. This was just an unthinkable result for a first-year student. Suddenly I noticed that a man was approaching me. This is the biggest sponsor in our city. They whispered in the hall. The man introduced himself and handed me a contract for cooperation. Of course, I didn't even think twice about it. But only if I work together with the girls. Today we have proved that it is possible to benefit from every seemingly shortcoming. And let at least someone dare to doubt it now. Did you like the video? Subscribe and like it. Support the channel. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm 16 years old. Have you ever felt like an outcast in society? When you are shunned and even afraid of what would you do if you were bullied and laughed at because of your appearance? Watch this video to the end and you will learn how to live with an ugly face. You rarely think about the fact that appearance can affect your life so much, especially when you like your own. Every day, I received compliments, and all the friends of my parents were touched by seeing me and cherished my beauty. After all, my mother is a cosmetologist, and my father is a plastic surgeon. And of course, people who create beauty had the most beautiful child. I was actively involved in cheerleading, was one of the most popular girls in school, and even ran for school president. I had a handsome boyfriend, David. Almost all the girls wanted to be me, and I enjoyed it. My life was just a fairy tale that ended after that day. I was driving to school with my boyfriend. We had fun chatting and not really watching the road. I never used a seatbelt because I thought that nothing bad would happen to me. But suddenly, a car flew out at us, and David lost control of his car. Suddenly, I felt a huge force that threw us to the side of the road. I felt the shards of glass bite into my face, and it felt numb. Have you ever been in an accident? Then you understand that I was in a state of shock at the time, so I don't remember much. My face was healing for a month, and I had to walk around with my head completely bandaged. I felt a daily cutting pain. Every day was unbearable. I thought it was the worst thing that could have happened to me in all the time, until my bandages were removed. For the first time since the accident, I went to the mirror to look at myself and felt a shock. The scars were so deep that they left terrible marks on my face, as if someone had just slashed me with a knife and left me like this. Because the skin was covered with scars, its color no longer perfectly even, but resembled burns, and the whole picture was completed by my no longer perfect nose with a hump, which could only be hidden by a burqa. Was it really me? No. I was looking at a completely different person. Now I looked like a real freak from a horror movie. The whole face was horribly scarred and marked. The eyebrows were disfigured and left in shreds, and the eyes were full of fright. It wasn't me anymore. There was no trace of the last beauty left. I came home and just locked myself in my room. I didn't go out for several days, and I didn't want to eat or drink. I broke all the mirrors in my room because I just couldn't look at myself. Tears stung my face because of recent wounds. I felt terrible. My sweet and beautiful face turned into this, and now I had to live with it. My parents tried to support me. I was scheduled for a hospital checkup in a week to see if I had any complications, so we tried to talk less about it. One evening, I overheard my dad talking on the phone with a doctor. He was talking about me. I couldn't stand it. I ran up to ask if there was anything I could do with my ugly face. My father promised me that he would do everything possible to get me back to normal. My dad knew a surgeon who could help me. I began to believe that I would be able to look at my reflection in the mirror again. But on my checkup, my hopes were dashed. The doctor said that even the smallest surgical interventions should not be performed now. Everything inside me collapsed. The sick day was almost over, and I had to go to school soon, which was my worst nightmare. I had already seen school children shy away from me, get scared, and call me names. No one saw me on sick day except my parents, but thousands of eyes would see me at school. When day X arrived, I wanted the ground to swallow me up just so that no one would notice me. As soon as I opened the school door, I realized that I was no one here anymore. My popularity was gone. David didn't even talk to me. And all my friends seemed to support me, but behind my back they laughed and came up with the offensive nickname, Freddie. I huddled in the corner between the lockers and sobbed there. But one girl I used to bully came up to me and supported me. It was unexpected, so I just pushed her away and ran away. Each new day was even harder. I tried to apply a ton of makeup, but it didn't save my face. and the patches didn't help either. So I started covering my face with my hair, pushing it forward, putting on my hood, and slouching. But it didn't get any better. Everyone was laughing at me and calling me names. But that girl, she supported me, and over time, we started communicating. Her name was Sally. I didn't understand why she was doing this, but thanks to her, I began to smile more often. After a month, I had gradually gained confidence and began to pay less attention to the taunts from the outside. Did they ever laugh at you at school? Then you know exactly how I felt. I tried to continue to live my life, and it seemed like everyone around me had already got used to my appearance. It was easier for me. And then, everything was going downhill again. I was kicked out of the cheerleading team, told that my face scared people away. The boys on the football team refused to support me. It was a real stab in the back. I had been doing this for more than 2 years, and then I got kicked out. I was crushed. On the same day, I was banned from running for president of the school. As soon as I came to terms with the consequences of the accident and the ugly situation at school, I was broken again. I felt the injustice, but I couldn't do anything about it. I no longer tried to do anything to protect myself, as I did not feel the support of others. It became even harder for me to open up and trust people, so I became depressed. I started skipping school and closing myself in my room more and more often. And one of those days, someone knocked on my door. I opened it and saw a courier with a package, signed it, and started unpacking it. I didn't believe what I saw. It was a topical ointment against such damage on the face as mine. I was delighted and immediately smeared it all over my face. I thought the cream would definitely help me. When my dad arrived, I started to hug him and was happy, but he immediately explained that the ointment was experimental and there were no guarantees for the result. My hopes were dashed again. Was I just going to be ugly forever? I closed the door, went to the mirror, and, choking with tears and resentment, grabbed a piece of scissors and hysterically cut my hair in the bathroom. I decided that if my face always remained like this, at least the image would match. In the room, I found a black and red striped sweatshirt, found black pants and a hat, trying to look like the one whose nickname I was given. This time, I was ready to go to school. When I opened the school door, time seemed to stop in the corridor. Everyone was looking at me. Even though my new image looked terrible, that wasn't the reason. When I got closer to the election counters, I found my own, and behind it stood Sally, who was shouting slogans for me. I thought everyone was laughing at me again and abruptly started ripping flyers off the walls and throwing them in the trash. Sally tried to stop me, but I pushed her away and ran away crying. All eyes were on me. Sally caught up with me and began to calm me down. She explained everything to me. It turned out that all this time she was negotiating with the principal to allow me to participate in the elections, and he was outraged that I was forbidden to do so. The principal was shocked that I was treated this way, so everyone who voted for my removal was banned from participating in the election. I didn't believe it was real. They really supported me. 2 days ago, the election ended, and thanks to my knowledge and Sally's efforts, I was elected president. For a long time, I was really happy. Performing in front of large crowds helped me reduce my appearance. I don't know what will happen next, but I was happy to participate, and I think I started to feel the ground under my feet again. I try not to think about the accident and try to move on. Did you ever have any problems with your appearance? If so, write your story in the comments, put likes, subscribe to the channel, and have a nice day.